the Cards taking care of the Cats on Tuesday night at a packed KFC Yum Center, 96-88. Just kind of your first kind of initial thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of going into the game, you didn't really know what to expect. Only as we talked about it last week, how early this game is being played in the season. It's game 3 for both teams. I mean, you count the exhibition games, I guess it's game 5. But, in the exhibition games, they look good one game. Both teams look good one game. And the other game, they struggled. And so, in their first 2 other matchups in the regular season, they're playing, lesser competition. So you really can't tell much about either one of them. So going into this first true real test, 1,000 strong at the Yum Center. Place was rocking, sold out crowd, first time I think in like 8 years. Cards came out, they jumped on the Cats early. They threw the first punch in the first half. They built that 18-point lead, and then all of a sudden, Kentucky punches back, and it's a 7-point game at halftime. And we're like, all right, we're in for a great second half. And once again, the Cards come out in the second half and punch again, and it's all of a sudden it's a 20-point lead with about 13 minutes left in the game. Cards could be cruising to a victory, and Kentucky showed a lot of fight. And all of a sudden, they start making threes with Chandler and Aberdeen, knocking them in from deep, and it's a 4-point game at the end of 4 timeout. And, the feelings in the Yum Center, it was tight. I mean, it was tight. People were anxious. It was like, oh, is this going to happen again? And all of a sudden, the best player on the court that night, Mikel Brown Jr., has that and one, pushes that lead to 7. Well, another transfer, big bucket, and down low in the paint. And, if they would have just made some free throws down the stretch, they might have won by double digits. They missed 7 straight free throws. But other than that, no, Cards, 96 points. Offense looked fantastic. Kudos to Kentucky as well, 88 points. They look good. Some struggles on defense both ways, but all around good, really good basketball game.
Yeah, I mean, my initial thoughts is, dude, this was a great game and great for the rivalry. I mean, I was lucky enough to sit courtside with working the scores table, and had a great seat for it. But the atmosphere was great. The game was just back and forth the whole time, and just a great game for television. I mean, I'm sure people all across the country were watching it, and as Louisville fans,
Unless you have YouTube TV, you were not watching.
still locked down from the ESPN. Yeah, but people that did have ESPN were all watching it across the country. I mean, this is what the rivalry is supposed to be, right? 2 top 10 teams basically going at it, and the game lived up to the hype. We both talked about how, we kind of hated it, the fact that it's November the 11th and so early in the year, and I still think that's true. But the game being as early as it was, both teams played really well. You talked about Louisville getting out got up to 18, just under 5 to go in the first half, and Kentucky rallied back, and then Louisville pushed the lead again to 20. Was up 78-58 with 12:30 to go. And at that point, you're thinking maybe Louisville's going to score 110 points the way their offense was going. But after that point, Kentucky outscored Louisville 26-10 over the next 8 minutes. And then you talked about it. Mikel Brown went left, got that and one. He was great all night, was the best player all night. But I felt like that play really kind of stamped the fact that he's not just one of the best freshmen in the country. He's one of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
He made the free throw, got the and one, and kind of got back up by 7. And yeah, you talked about it. They missed 7 straight free throws there at the end. And, it never got to where it was so scary where you thought the Cards were going to lose. But
Right.
You're also let's just make these and put the game
the
away.
Final nail in the coffin. Yeah, luckily Kentucky didn't capitalize on those missed free throws. Louisville defense held up and got the stops when they needed them.
Yeah, and another thing that stood out to me is Conwell's play. He was amazing, and it wasn't just Brown and Conwell scoring. Combined, they had 1 turnover. Brown had 1 turnover. Conwell had 0. Louisville as a team had 6. And for game 3 to only have 6 turnovers, that's about as impressive as a stat as you'll see.
Yeah, no, and you look at the box score and the scoring was close, and the 3-point shooting, Louisville had 13 made threes, Kentucky had 12. There was 31 made field goals for Louisville, 32 for Kentucky. So everything was pretty close. Even in rebounds, it was 42-40 Kentucky. But the one stat that stands out is 20 assists and only 6 turnovers for Louisville, and Kentucky had 14 assists and 14 turnovers. So, that assist to turnover ratio, big time in Louisville's favor, and that's kind of the story of how they kind of won that game.
But I mean, for a freshman to do what he's doing and to have 1 turnover while finishing with 29 points and 5 assists, I mean, is just really, really remarkable. And on Kentucky's side, I thought Aberdeen did a great job of keeping them in the game throughout. And then you're right, Chandler got hot and started making some really tough, some really deep threes in the second half. And I mean, we know this Kentucky team's not going to have any trouble scoring the basketball. That's not going to be their issue. And
No.
it's going to be the same thing it was last year. Can they get enough stops to win? And I heard several times yesterday, Mark Pope, or on Tuesday, Mark Pope yelling, make a stop, get one stop, get one stop. And they had a hard time getting that one stop. And you just wonder if that's going to be their issue again this year, is on the defensive end.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into it yet. Like you said, it's game 3, but the style of play that Louisville, I mean, they're just up and down, and getting as many shots as they can. So, I mean, Louisville's going to be a high scoring team, like just based on the style of play that they have. You know, giving up 96 to Louisville isn't necessarily an indicative of your defense of being the rest of the year. Like it's the style of play. It's game 3. Kentucky will get better, but it's just a tough matchup.
Yeah, I think one thing that really surprised me is I thought Louisville's bigs really outplayed Kentucky's bigs.
No, I mean 100%. Like, one of the questions coming into the season was Louisville's, their front court and those bigs with Case and Pryor coming off the injury. I think he played 2 minutes the other night. Didn't even see the floor in the second half. So he's still coming back from that torn ACL. But I thought Sananda Faru had a fantastic game, 10 points and 7 rebounds. He got a couple clutch offensive rebounds in the second half. And then you got, a guy like Ali Khalifa who had put up 4 points. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 points, and no turnovers. So, when your bigs, Frew only had 1 turnover and Khalifa, no turnovers and 4 assists. I mean, that's getting it done.
They love running that hollow with Khalifa up top, and he didn't have any turnovers, but he put the ball in danger a couple times, and then they took him out of the game. But I mean, that he can really pass the ball from up top. It is impressive, and I was really impressed with Frew. I mean, coming in, you don't know what to expect from this big from Germany, and when he got that ball on the right block and spun,
Yes,
like opposite his defender, like it's just there's nothing flashy about that, but it's just such a good basketball play, and you
great
don't
job.
see enough bigs doing that anymore.
No, you don't. I mean, fundamentally was a great play, and it's going to take some adjusting, coming over from Germany. But from where he started in that exhibition game against Kansas to what he showed on Tuesday night, you can already see the improvement. He's getting more comfortable. He's scoring a little bit more now. He's getting those big time boards. Like he's looking a lot better just in the span of 2 to 3 weeks.
No, he is. He is. And I mean, we keep rehashing this. We're game 3. Like it's game 3. So neither one of these teams are a finished product, but they both showed what they can be at times. And I think these are both teams that can compete to get to the Final Four and potentially even win a national title. I think both of these teams are that talented.
Yeah.
And like they're both going to continue to get better. I don't think either team played their best game. It wasn't one of these games where PKs after the game, like, man, we played our best game and that's why they won. There's still plenty of things that they can improve on. They didn't shoot it well from 3, shot 13 of 40 from beyond the arc, which I think if you look throughout the rest of the season, probably going to be one of their worst shooting games from deep. So that's something they can improve on. And both teams are going to improve defensively. I don't know how good ranking nationally either team's going to be defensively, but they're both going to get better on that end. So it's going to be fun to watch these teams throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also just like, I know not every Louisville fan feels this way and every Kentucky fan feels this way, but to me, it's just good when both teams in this rivalry are good. And that's what makes this rivalry what it is. Like you don't want to see either team struggling and then the games just aren't as fun.
No, I agree with you.